Welcome back, Holotable Heroes, to another Galaxy of Heroes video. I'm your boy Scribble, and today it is Monday morning, therefore we are going to be getting Galactically Challenged, featuring some rather spicy Imperial Troopers. Let's break it down. The modifier for today's Galactic Challenge is Righteous Retribution. Whenever a unit takes damage, they gain 20% critical damage, stacking until they score a critical hit, and whenever a unit is debuffed, they recover 10% protection. Whenever a unit is defeated, another random ally takes a bonus turn. It makes this particular Galactic Challenge not difficult, but a little bit frustrating. The player modifier for this particular Galactic Challenge is the Code, and that means our Mandalorian allies, whenever they take damage, are going to be gaining a stack of clan loyalty. Each stack of clan loyalty is increasing our maximum protection, our counter chance, and decreasing the damage penalty that we receive from attacking out of turns. Now, the enemy modifier is Endless Ranks. This is the rather frustrating one that allows the Imperial Troopers to revive, which is unstoppable, unpreventable, 3 times before you can actually start killing them. Now, pair this with the bonus turn that they get whenever you kill an ally, makes them a little bit frustrating. Taking a look at the feats now, we need to win with a full team of Mandalorian units, we need to complete the battle after attempting to inflict 30 damage over times, and finally, we need to win without using a leader in the leader slot. Now, I've got some teams for you to do here, so that you get all of these feats with as minimal problems as possible. Let's break it down with the first team. We are going to be going in with a full team of Mandalorians first and foremost, but I'm swapping out Maul's leadership here for Canderous. With this team, we will get every single feat done in just one battle, and it really isn't so difficult. Now, the reason I threw Maul in is because literally everybody else here has a leadership. We've got Bam, he gives us the source of Whistling Birds, but he also gives us the benefit of being able to place damage immunity on our allies, and is relatively strong anyway. Now, I like to go after Moff Gideon at the start because his demoralized debuff will decrease our damage output by 50%, which is rather significant, so the sooner we can kill him, the better. Part of the problem with this team is that obviously Canderous is going to be attacking out of turn lots, and he is going to be taking lots of bonus turns thanks to all the turn meter he's generating, but also he applies a dot whenever he does a basic or an attack, if you've got his Omega on, which I assume you do. This means that the enemy is going to be recovering 10% protection every time he hits. As you can see, they're going up and up and up. Fortunately, this is a bit of a double-edged sword. On the one side, it means that we will definitely 100% bona fide be getting that 30 damage over time attempts, but on the other side, it does mean that these enemies are going to be staying alive a little bit longer than we would like. Still, I do recommend focusing on Gideon no matter what, because like I said, he has that capability of decreasing our damage output. Once we kill him once, it actually removes it until he takes another turn, which is quite useful. Now, I imagine there are probably easier targets to kill first other than Gideon, but I found this one to be the most useful for me in the first attempt. Now, we do have armor in here. If you can chuck that triple stack of Beskar armor on Canderous, then he's definitely not going to die, but I highly recommend you actually throw this on Maul instead, because that means Maul is going to be counterattacking and assisting very frequently, going to be increasing his stacks of Seething Rage or whatever it is, that anger thing. So we've killed Gideon, I believe, twice. We still need to kill him another 2 times in order for him to be gone for good. Maul showing his use there. Make sure you've modded your Maul to have maximum offense, and there we go. We've removed Gideon. He is no longer a threat. After this, you do have the likes of Death Trooper and Range Trooper. Those are both rather annoying units to deal with. Death Trooper can put daze on a basic and then will stun people with daze. Range Trooper will call assists and is also able to put out a bunch of buffs, including Retribution. All very annoying aspects. Thankfully, now that Gideon is gone, we do have a lot more damage output. We're not getting our damage decreased by 50%, and Whistling Birds can actually start to do something. I suppose the only problem here is we have very limited sources of dispelling. I believe it's only Bo-Katan with her AoE that causes daze that has the capability of dispelling. But ultimately, once you've removed Gideon from the equation, you shouldn't really be too worried about losing. Range Trooper there just hanging on for dear life, and I'm putting damage immunity on Canderous because I'm very concerned that he's going to die. 130 odd stacks of that clan loyalty means that we've got 130 odd % additional protection. That's a lot of protection. So yeah, Range Trooper, just get out of here, boy, you're trash. Come on, just Maul, do your thing, honey. Go rage, 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 bam. Yeah, bam was there as well. So this team here, very easy, very straightforward. These are all between Relic 5 and Relic 7, I believe. Gets every single feat done, as you can see. However, if your Mandalorians aren't that good, we can make this work with a standard team of Mandalorians as well. Let's check that out. So the exact same team setup here, but I'm using Maul in the leadership. You could swap out Mandalorian, sorry, not the Mandalorian. You could swap out Mandalorian or the Armorer out for another Mandalorian, someone like Jango perhaps, for an additional source of damage output. But honestly, it's not necessary. Just use the strongest team that you have available for this. This time I decided to try and go all in on Stark to see if it was easier to kill him quicker. I don't actually think it was much quicker, truth be told. All the assists that we're doing now, thanks to the Maul lead, is actually meaning that the enemy is recovering a lot more protection because Canderous is doing a lot more attacks now. As you can see, it's just almost impossible to chew through people because Canderous is constantly attacking and giving them protection recovery, essentially. Bam remains to be very useful though, obviously, because his Whistling Birds do place heal immunity out on the team, which is unresistible, which is great. And obviously he does have a rather high damage output. Unfortunately, due to the modifier here, the I can't remember what it's called, Endless Ranks, apologies. Endless Ranks actually is not a preventable revive. So if we kill them when they have Endless Ranks, even with Whistling Birds, which prevents revives, it won't do anything. They'll still come back. So it's quite a frustrating situation to find ourselves in, but we can't do much about it. We just need to keep wailing away. I wanted to get through all of the endless ranks before I started focusing on Gideon, and as you can see, I'm having a hard time thanks to the decreased damage output. Stark over there just dying of sadness, which was quite satisfying, I have to admit. Mando is yet to take a turn. He's still waiting there in his poop stance, just thinking, God, if only I could send out these Whistling Birds. If only I could just send them out. But alas, it's not to be so, and I believe even when we do take his turn, we don't actually quite have enough decreased health and protection across the board for him to actually do anything. I decide to go after Gideon, but as you can see, it only goes through his bonus protection, which is a little bit frustrating. So I'm still here, waiting, counting my eggs before they chicken. Or something to that effect. No, we are just waiting here to get rid of this last stack of Endless Ranks before we focus on Gideon to get rid of that demoralized buff. But ultimately, as you can see, the enemy isn't actually posing us a threat. We've got far too much protection recovery for us to be even remotely worried about them killing us. So it's just a case of biding our time right now. I decided to go in on Gideon now. I'm thinking maybe if I just kill Gideon this time and get rid of that demoralized, it'll be easier to clean up the rest. But as you can see, even with a full stack of Seething Rage coming out of Maul, 5 attacks, it still isn't quite enough to kill Gideon. I was like, God damn, will we eventually kill him? I decided to change tack, I believe, and start not attacking Gideon whenever Canderous takes a turn, in the hopes that we will be able to kill him off. He gets so close. I do the basics here and I'm like, nah, Gideon's just going to recover all that protection. So I was learning as I was going here, ladies and gentlemen. You can learn from my mistakes and make this just that little bit easier for you. Gideon dies of sadness. That's all the Endless Ranks gone now. So if we kill anybody now, they will stay dead forever. You see, I'm deciding to swap the basics over to Stark here because I don't want Gideon recovering his protection, in the hopes that Maul can go in and finish off Gideon over there. There's one, and he's gone. Super. Now that Gideon's gone, I am less worried about anything. It should get cleaned up relatively quickly now because we've gotten 50% of our offense back, so Maul's Seething Rage is now going to start doing more and more damage. There he goes, down 2 units right now. This time I did put the Beskar armor on Maul to try and make things a little bit easier for myself, gain more stacks of that Anguish, that's it, ha, I remember. Anguish, which is feeding my Seething Rage to deal more damage. I probably had really bad targeting here in general. Throw the second set of Beskar armor on Canderous, not that it matters at all, there's only 2 units left on the field. And if this was a normal speed battle, we would only have 40 seconds left to actually kill everything. Clan Loyalty over there, increasing lots of our protection, our attacks out of turn damage, and our something else, our counter chance. Let's have a sip of coffee. Veers and his bonus protection just chilling out over there. Like, I don't care how much damage you deal to me. I'm not going to get hurt. But he is rocking 30 damage over times right now. 31 damage over times. I don't think it's going to be very good when he takes a turn. I think he's going to get a little bit hurt by this. That's probably 35. Yeah, he nearly died from the dots alone. You hate to see it, guys. You hate to see it. Range Trooper over there, who probably should have been an easy first target for me, is looking to be the last trooper standing. Unfortunately, he shan't last too long. As soon as we get Maul's AoE out, I think that will strip away all of that bonus protection. Looks like we've got Beskar Mando's Whistling Birds over there, waiting to unload as well. All those counterattacks. There we go. We get the Dispel and the Daze. There's the Whistling Birds. Goodbye, Irene. So that will get us everything but the no leader feat. Now, if you don't have Mandalorians, I've got a few no leaderships for you as well. Let's check them out. The first one is your boy Scribble's very favourite faction, the Rebel faction. I'm just swapping out CLS and putting in Chewie in the lead. Immediately I'm going to focus down Gideon, because you know how we feel about Gideon. Now, CLS should be able to get this done. If you get a little bit unfortunate like that and you get the days on your Chewie, just, you know, wipe off your tears and keep going. I'm not sure why I decided to control Stark there for a little bit. I don't think that was really worthwhile. But yeah, I do feel like this team should be able to get it done for most of you. If you don't have a whole lot of... If you don't have a whole lot of investment in your CLS, then maybe this will be a bit more of an issue for you. But I found it to be relatively straightforward here. Even if you do get some kills with Chupio as well, you will be increasing his offense. Obviously, they are going to be taking bonus turns whenever you kill someone. That is frustrating, and there is nothing you can do about it. Fortunately, there is a lot of DPS on this CLS team, so you should be able to get quite a bit of work done here. Yep, nice bit of blinds there from Chupio's blind ability, his shining distraction, I think it is. We've taken out all of the stacks of endless ranks now, so we've killed Gideon, he's donezo's, he's gone. I'm going after Veers for no good reason. Probably should have gone after Range Trooper, as we understand that Range Trooper is the most evil of all troopers. But he does have some rather fetching boots, and I can't really be too upset with him for that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below about Star Wars fashion. Moreover, we are slowly but surely chewing our way through these Imperial Troopers. As you can see, once it gets to this point, you're pretty confident that you're not going to lose. Obviously, if you do have GLs, I'd highly recommend that you just go in with a GL team with no leadership and just throw the GL in there. But I like to give an opportunity for those of you who do not have GLs to get these feats done. So I always try to come up with teams where they don't actually use them. So Colonel Stark, last man standing, but not for much longer. We do have another team though. Let's check that out. Seeing as though we are facing off against Imperial Troopers, I thought it was only fitting that we take in Imperial Troopers. I've thrown Dark in the leadership because I thought, why not? I decided to put the mark on him and see what happens. This was more of a thought piece. I was like, what would happen if we tried to take Imperial Troopers in versus the Imperial Troopers? How might that go? Turns out, it's not actually that bad. We still have a significant amount of damage output thanks to our boy Dark. We've still got a significant amount of TM generation all the same, and Piet is still amazing. Now, maybe putting that mark on Dark is not the best choice, because he will lose all of his stacks and lose a significant amount of his offense. But as you can see, we're still able to chew through these people quite handedly, truth be told. I'm going through, I've killed already 2 of them. It's faster than the CLS team so far, which is always a positive sign if you ask me. And we've fully gone through all the stacks of endless ranks in just, what, 2 minutes? 3 minutes. Gideon doesn't even last an attack. Obviously, they're still taking their bonus turn, so it's interrupting our stack of Emperor's Trap here. But this still works surprisingly well. Surprisingly well, I thought. And I don't know how Dark Trooper is not dead yet, but he's hung in there like an absolute champ. If only you could have done that against Luke in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, then maybe the Empire would have had a nicer time of things. But hey, Death Trooper is about to bite it. Shoot. Yep, lovely. Punch, punch. Punch bot is the best bot. I have it on very good authority. So this won't give you any of the other feats, guys, but it will give you a no leadership feat, just in case. And that's going to about do it for today's episode of Galactically Challenged. Let me know what team you used in the comments section down below, and I hope that you have a fantastic week. May the Force be with you.